What's up, everybody? Devin Nash here. Episode 2 of Fear of Failure. We are going to work on the actual tactical strategy. We're going to work on building out a worksheet, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to actually get over the fear of failure if you're really dedicated to doing so. That means you actually are willing to write this down with me. You're willing to write down your fears. You're willing to work it out and not just say it or not just use it as an excuse and say, oh, it's just something I'm really afraid of doing, so you never do it. This is how to actually get over it. So this is the real strategy. This episode, we're going to go into it, and I'm going to do a little bit of a workshop with you with 3 critical questions using 2 examples. Let's get into it. So let's open up our first template. Should be there. And we're going to cover 3 questions. What are the worst possible outcomes if I pursue the issue? What can I do to prevent these outcomes from happening? If all these outcomes were to occur, how would I recover? Let's start with a subject that is near and dear to my heart, the 30-day content challenge that I'm on right now. This is a pretty scary thing. You have to do content every day, and there's a lot of failure associated with it. I haven't actually run this worksheet because I just kind of cowboyed up and did it, but if I was to run it, I'm excited to see what would happen. So let's try it. What are the worst possible outcomes if I pursue the issue? So we'll replace this with the 30-day content challenge. Well, I could fail. I'd not do it, not complete it. I could be embarrassed, right? We could say the wrong thing, do the wrong thing on a video, alienate a lot of the community that respects me, embarrass myself in front of professionals. This is actually one of the big ones. I think this is probably a big one for a lot of people. For me, I have a lot of people on my Twitter and a lot of people on my social media that are owners of esports teams. They're big industry people, and they don't follow many people. So I've always been afraid that if I did something like this, I would put it out there, and maybe a lot of these people that I really respect would be like, oh, that's just like silly. It's like self-improvement content, and they wouldn't be into it. So that was a big fear of mine here. And you have to identify those fears for yourself. You say, what is like one of my big fears that is here? And you put this down on paper. What are the worst possible outcomes? What could really happen here? I mean, we're talking catastrophic failure. We are talking the worst of the worst. I mean, it just is awful. Everything fails. Let's see. I could lose position in esports if I say something really bad, right? If I put myself out there in that way. I mean, we're just thinking about anything, no matter how remote. Okay. I don't know. Can I think of anything else that... I'm sure there's a couple of other things, but I think for me, this big one, embarrassing myself in front of professionals and alienating the people that respect me, those are the 2 really scary ones for me. So I'm going to keep those, just keep those in mind. I'll probably star those. Well, okay, so let's go to the second question. What can I do to prevent these outcomes from happening? So now that I know what I'm afraid of, what can I specifically do to stop it? Well, I can script my videos, and I can check for any offensive, problematic issues by rewatching them. Pretty simple, and then along these lines too, I can just like get a friend, right? Get a friend to review the video before I post it and see what they think. How would I alienate a lot of the community that respects me, or how would I fix that? Ask the community what they want to hear. Or ask people what videos they want. So type a Q&A, which is one of the big things that I'm doing. I'm doing a lot of these videos right now that are just me coming up with subjects because I don't have a lot of questions yet, but as people submit questions, I'll be able to do Q&A. That's one way I could do it. How could I prevent losing a position in esports if I said something really bad? Well, these things would also cover that. How would I avoid saying the wrong thing? I think those things would cover it too. I think asking for feedback and just scripting stuff is the most effective way that I could probably prevent these things. If these outcomes were to occur, how would I recover? This is exciting. So let's say that I alienate my community. Well, how long is it going to take for people to stop caring? First of all, let's branch that out. Who is going to care? Let's say that I totally fail, catastrophic failure. I release an apology letter, sincere, authentic, and say I'm going to improve and give action steps to improving. So if I release a genuine apology letter because I fail at a video or I don't do it, and I say, hey, I tried, I got 15 days in, I didn't make it, really sorry, I want to try again next time, I want this to be better, okay, so let's say that goes out. Who is going to care? There will probably be maybe 5 to 10 people maximum that are disappointed. I doubt one will actually say something negative. Like, oh, you failed. Haha, you couldn't even do that. I really, do you think that it's realistic that somebody's going to go on Twitter or something that is going to say that? If they do, it's one person. Okay. What else? Okay, I lose my position or lose my job or whatever. Lose respect. Well, I can build that back up, right? Keep doing things and working on things to add value to people. Eventually, people will notice the effort, and it'll turn around in a worst-case scenario. Yeah. What else am I afraid of? Embarrassing myself in front of professionals? That's pretty scary. How can I stop that? Well, maybe I can't, but we can ask which of those professionals is really going to care. And indeed, which of the professionals would actually respect this initiative? And then I think of people like Jason Lake, who owns Complexity, and he likes almost every tweet that I do, and is like, dude, go for it. And most of the people that I talk to, when I actually get down to it, they're like, I respect this. This is a good initiative. This is something that is adding value to people or trying to. Even if it doesn't come across the right way, then at least it's for a good cause. And most of the things that you're probably trying to do, that you're afraid of doing, are probably for good causes. They're probably trying to improve your life in some way. It's probably trying to add value to someone in some way. So you probably don't have much to worry about. In fact, I really respect the industry leaders that come to me and they say, hey, this is cool. This is cool that you're doing this. And if anything, I don't think I've ever had anybody come to me and say, hey, this sucks. And if they did, it would be constructive. They would tell me, this sucks, and here's what you can do to fix it. And that would be productive for me. So is there really anything to fear about, to be afraid of? I don't think so. I looked at this, I took this whole list, and I said, well, these things are not that serious to me in the end, are they? These are not really things that I would be terrified of, and anything that does happen that's catastrophic, I can really easily recover from. And so all of a sudden, we've taken this big boogeyman, and we made it into a pretty reasonable issue. We know we can just go for it. Cool. So that's something that's near and dear to my heart. Let's do something that's near and dear to yours. Let's take a new one. Get another template going. How about leaving your job? I think that's a big one. A lot of people are really nervous to leave a job that they don't like. All right, what are the worst possible outcomes if I pursue leaving my job? What can I do to prevent them? And keep in mind, I'm just going off my head right here. This isn't scripted or anything, so I don't have any notes on this. So if you're doing introspection, you're going to have a lot better answers than this. What are the worst possible outcomes if I pursue leaving my job? Well, I could not get another job. Lose my livelihood. Run out of money. People would lose respect for me. My parents would think I'm lazy. This is all if I don't get another job. You might want to tab this over. These things wouldn't happen if I just picked up another job. Become homeless. I could realize that job was great, and then wish I was back there. How often does that happen? But we have to put it down. I don't think that anybody that really leaves a job, that's even thinking about leaving a job, really has to worry about that. But let's say that they do. I would miss my coworkers. and maybe miss some friends from there. I'm afraid I'd never get better. I'd never upgrade to a better position. These are pretty legitimate fears. Let's break it down. What can I do to prevent these outcomes from happening? Well, the very first and obvious thing is I could prep another job in line that I really wanted to do. So if I want to be self-employed, for example, I could work on a side business at night or after my job until I guarantee income from it, and then I could leave. For another job, submit resumes, interview on days I'm not working. And this would lead to line up a job before I leave my current one. Now it becomes really easy to leave it because I have another job set up. That would eliminate pretty much everything here. I could realize this job is great and then wish I was back there. Well, that kind of goes with I could miss my coworkers. So don't leave the current job until you're sure you have a job of your dreams that you've applied for, interviewed for, and feel great about. Don't leave the current job until you have a better offer. Maybe I could write down the things that I really want to do, that I'm passionate about, and be specific about what I want to accomplish in my working life. This would lead me to be able to identify when I have an opportunity that I know would make me happier. If all the outcomes were to be occurring, how would I recover? I'm guessing if you're watching this video, you're probably under the age of 50. So you have about a minimum of 30 years, 40 years to recover. So you're probably not going to be homeless. I have 30, 40, 50 plus years to recover. I could, even if I lost this job immediately, I could build back up by working an easy minimum wage job and building my income on the side. Maybe you have skills. I have skills in X, Y, Z. Maybe you're good at graphics design or something. And these skills will get me back in to avert financial loss. I could save money, which is another thing I could add up here, right? Save money for a few months, so I have a backdrop if worse comes to worse. All right, we're cooking. I'd use my saved money and full-time look for a job for 60 hours a week. If you look that hard and you submit those kind of resumes, 40 to 60 hours a week, you can submit 100 resumes. Easy. You're going to get something. Social aspect. I'm afraid that I'd miss my coworkers or friends. Could join a club or a hobby group. I like D&D. Let's say I could join a Pathfinder group. Dungeons and Dragons. Where are my nerds at? Leave a comment. If you're that far into this video and you watched it, I'll read the comment. I'll be really happy. Okay, so I have some friends from my other group, so I won't feel left out alone. And I keep working on myself and reading books until I improve to the extent that I could get better and get a better position. Not sure how long that took, but I know it was less than 20 minutes for both of them. So this, in 10 minutes, we outlined all the worst possible outcomes that would happen if we left our job, what we could do to prevent those outcomes from happening, and all of the outcomes were to occur, everything fails, everything goes wrong, what happens? And you find out that something that you've probably built a monster of in your head is not that scary at all. There are very, 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 very few things in life that will actually result in catastrophic failure, that will actually result in the end of your existence. Society has built systems, and you are the type of person who is going to be able to build themselves back up. Even if you have to start from zero, you will have your skills, you will have all of the things that you've learned in your life, and most importantly, you will have the experience of that failure, which will teach you to be a stronger version of yourself and overcome your boundaries. And that's the whole reason we fail in the first place, is be the strongest version of yourself. Be a better version of yourself. You will have to come to embrace failure. Failure is going to be the thing that grows you into your next level. And because you're avoiding it, that is what's staying you still. Good, successful people, they fail all the time. People that I know that are highly successful fail every single day. They also have a fear of failure. It never goes away, I think. But they do exercises like this one, and they work it out because they see that once they actually put it on paper, it's not as bad as they think. But here's the invitation. You can watch this video and you can say, wow, that's a great idea. I'll implement that sometime. And you can keep not doing the things that you dream about and the things that are important to you. Or you can actually do this exercise for the thing that's keeping you back. You can actually put this on paper and realize how it's not that bad. And that's what I challenge you to do. All that matters is action. If you're just watching this for motivation and you don't get anything out of it, this video is useless to you. I want you to actually put this on paper, and I want you to do something about it. Write down these 3 questions. You've got the template right here, and make this happen. It's easy. You're going to see that anything that you're afraid of right now is not going to be as bad as you think. And if I'm right or I'm wrong, leave me a comment either way in the section below. Tell me if you've done this exercise, what you came up with. You can even copy the whole template. I love that. Or you tell me what you think about this whole thing, and if you think it's going to work for you. I'd be very, very excited to hear about your experiences with this and everything that you think this can do for you, or it has done for you if you actually try the practice. But please try it. If you are dealing with fear of failure, if you are watching this video because this is something that is dear to your heart, this is the #1 thing that I know to be able to fix this issue. Do it. Do it now. Schedule it. Put it on your calendar. Make it happen. Please. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you love this content, please leave a comment below, subscribe, follow the Facebook, whatever you'd like to do. Thank you so much. Looking forward to seeing you again next time for the next video.